Super quick one because I'm busy this week, which is great. A wedding I'm doing this Friday, the bride has requested many songs, which I love. I love learning new songs. I'm an unabashed, unashamed wedding singer. There's one thing I really don't get off on, and that's when you get booked for a wedding and then they say, and we want you to press play on this song for our first dance, or when I walk down the aisle or something. Like, I'll do whatever the bride wants me to do, but it just always seems a waste, and I feel a little bit embarrassed when I'm standing there with the guitar on, I'm ready to go, and then they say, okay, please welcome the couple for their first dance, and people are looking at me and looking at the couple, and I go, I found a love. Yeah. Anyway, one of the songs that the bride wants this week is, you're flat out busy, I'm out gardening, and a twig hit me in the eye. So I don't know, can you see anything? Can you see anything in it? It's so painful. So I've got lots of songs to learn, and this is one of them. This is the simplest one to learn, and I thought this would be a great, quick little fingerstyle guitar lesson to throw out there for you guys to have a crack at. So it's up on Melancholy Hill, which you know that because you clicked on it, right? It's by Gorillaz, and it's like the acoustic version, and I hadn't even heard of I love Gorillaz, but I wasn't across this song. Anyway, so Damon Albarn plays the guitar part himself, and he's got this very simplistic way of doing it. The whole song is one chord progression. It's D for 2 bars, A for 2 bars, B minor for 2 bars, then G for a bar, A for a bar, G for a bar, A for a bar. Starts again. So it's a 10-bar cycle, which is kind of cool. But the way Damon plays it is just the top 4 strings, and it's the standard bar chord shape. Every chord shape is based on that bar chord, but he's not using the bar. In fact, there's a live clip of him playing on Triple J here in Australia, and he does what I love doing, getting the thumb over the top for that bass note. And his picking pattern is like a Travis picking bass pattern. The thumb is doing what we like to call Travis picking with a single melody note. So what that means is the thumb is going all through the song. And in between every one of those notes, the first finger is picking that note. And so on throughout the entire song. Now, you notice that there's a lot of string noise with doing it that way. That's part of the character of this acoustic version. I don't necessarily mind that, but personally, when I play, I try to minimize that. You can't get rid of it, but we can minimize it by doing things like playing the chords in one position. So for instance, those notes are those notes. So you could just use that shape. And those notes are those notes. So you could do that shape. There's your B minor, so those notes are those notes. Then the G, well that's, and that A, as we said, is that. So, so you could play it like that. You could pretty much play it in first position. You've only got that B minor bar chord that you've got to do. So yes, we can minimize the string noise, but it's at the expense of the consistency of tone that we get by playing it all on the same strings. And the other thing that we can do by playing it all on the same strings is minimize how much we have to think about it, how much thinking we have to do to pick different strings. It's much easier to sing over it. Up on Melancholy Hill, there's a plastic tree. Blah, 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 blah. I can't remember the words. Looking out on the world. Whatever it is. You know, that's really easy. Obviously, I hardly know the song yet, but I can sing and play that because this hand never changes. Never changes for the whole song. So look, that's it though. I love a song like that has this simplicity about it. He's using one chord form on the same 4 strings and one picking pattern. And it's an interesting picking pattern, isn't it? Like, you know, lots of times we use more than one finger or move the melody around. But in this, the melody is all through it. Off beats all the way through, you know, the bass is doing all the movement. Okay, now really quickly, I want to loop this up because I'm going to use my loop pedal when I play it this week. It's an ideal type of song for looping because it's got a single chord progression throughout the song. But there's also a layer, there's a beautiful little melody. It's got a little 3-note melody that plays over the top. It sounds like a child's xylophone or something. So let's see if we can loop this up. All right, there we go. Yeah, so that sounds really cool. Now, you could play that melody with harmonics as well if you wanted to. You know, it sounds a little bit more like the chimey xylophone effect. So it's only a D, which I'm playing there on the 15th on the B string, and an A note, which is the 17th on the E string. And then the D goes back 1 fret to a C sharp on the 14th fret. So we could play those notes here. So there's our D note, 5th fret harmonic on the D string, same octave, and then our A note on the same string is just past the 3rd fret. So it's just past it there, about a quarter of the way past. Then our C sharp is just before the 4th fret on the A string. So it's hard to hear because I'm playing a tiny little baby Taylor mic'd up with a room mic. I'm not plugged in here, but you know, if you plug your guitar in and use a compressor, beautiful. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to bother with that today. I don't have the time, but what I will show you is there's a lower melody line that comes in on the glockenspiel or whatever it is as well, and we can do that in harmonics. I'm just playing a D. This just travels with the chords basically. It's a little almost like a Latin clave rhythm. So I'm playing a D note there, 12th fret D string, an E note at the 7th fret on the A string, then back to the D, then a G note, 12th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the D string is an A note, then travelling up further, 12th fret on the B string, B note, and our C sharp note, which is just before the 4th fret on the A string, and then finishing on a D note on the 5th fret of the D string. So let's loop that in there with it as well. Alright, that's another wonderful one for you to have some fun with. Very easy and great for practicing a bit of right hand thumb independence. I'm going to go and keep practicing these songs and see if my eye gets any better. Give us a like and a share and a comment. Thanks guys.